According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, motorcyclists are 4 times more likely to be injured in a wreck than someone who's in a car. We're also 16 times more likely to be killed. Of course, if you ride a motorcycle, you already know the stakes are higher for us than they are for car drivers when we're out on the road. If you've been injured while riding, you might want to hire a motorcycle wreck attorney. Let's talk about a few reasons why. Motorcycle crashes can be far more complicated than a car wreck. If you've suffered serious injuries, you may be entitled to significant compensation. So it's important to have someone on your side who understands the ways motorcyclists are perceived by other drivers. Some examples are handling dynamics. We have 2 wheels and a different type of braking system than most cars do. We don't have 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. It makes a big difference in how we can decelerate or the maneuvers we can make safely to avoid a crash. Societal prejudice. Unfortunately, some people look at us differently. They think we're always speeding around and not following the rules on the road. Being overlooked by drivers. The unfortunate thing is, people are conditioned to look for 2 headlights and a grille, some larger vehicle. And so they look our direction and look right through us and pull out in our way. Size, distance, and speed. Another excuse we hear from drivers who cause wrecks with motorcyclists is that the bike was farther away, it was going too fast. It's often because they misread our exhaust. They don't understand that we often decelerate by gearing down. And so there's a higher rev because we're slowing down. As you can see, there are a number of key differences between a motorcycle wreck and a car crash. So it's very important to have someone on your side who understands these nuances. One of the more common scenarios we see leading to a motorcycle crash is when the other driver turns left in front of us, leaving no time for the biker to slow down or avoid the crash. We've handled many cases like this before, and we understand the arguments the insurance company will make and what we need to look for. Little factors are important and can make a big difference in your case. For instance, was the driver at a complete stop? Were they approaching from the opposite direction? Did they use their turn signal? Were your lights on? What time of day was it? How was visibility? What was the speed? What was the speed zone? Were there traffic lights? Was there a controlled intersection? Was there a stop sign? Were the rider or the driver paying attention? Was someone distracted? Were they looking at a phone? The last thing you want is for someone to try to blame you for their negligence. Because motorcycle wrecks are so unique, there are specific details we must be aware of when we're gathering evidence and communicating with the insurance company or their lawyers. An experienced bike attorney will know how to do things like inspect the bike to make sure everything was working properly at the time of the crash. We can examine the rider's gear and clothing for any evidence. Of course, we review the medical records. We often interview witnesses and get their statements and affidavit. Many times these days there's video of the crash and we can review that. We're going to review the police report and talk to the officer a lot of times to see exactly what they thought happened. We can examine the scene of the crash and, if necessary, hire an expert to reconstruct it. Investigate the driver's condition at the time of the crash. Additionally, communication matters. Who you talk to, what you say, and even how you say it can have a negative impact on your case. In whatever you do, it's advisable to be factual and concise, avoid speculating or offering your opinion, and decline to give a recorded statement to the insurance company. Getting in a wreck is hard enough. Fighting for compensation on top of that, though, can really be overwhelming. As a motorcyclist, I understand what it's like out there. I've seen too many other people who've been hurt by the carelessness of another driver because they didn't pay attention, they didn't see you, they didn't care. We care. At the law offices of James Scott Perry, we know how the system works. We've seen the tactics the insurance companies use when it comes to motorcycle wrecks. We have the resources and experience to fight for the full compensation you may deserve. At the end of the day, you have every right to ride your motorcycle safely. Give us a call or contact us online today. We're here to help.